Okay, let's start painting the foreground. I think the paper is still touch dry. I want to let it dry fully. In the meantime, this part is sort of dried, so I think we can start painting the bird. But in case of the bird, I like if we can see, it looks like the sun is kind of, the light is coming this way. So there is some sort of shadow near the eyes, and you can see the shadow lines because the light is that side, the shadow lines coming here, and this is the reflected light. There is slight blue here, that's the reflected light, and I think this is the shadow of that, or I'm not quite sure, it's quite hard to understand. And then there is shadow under the bird here. So yeah, we'll keep that in mind and try to create. And also you see if there is shadow under the beak as well. Okay, I'm gonna start with the beak, from the beak. I've just wet this brush, and what I'm going to do is also wet here, so that when I put color, the darker shade gets there. So I've picked some cobalt blue. Okay. And now I'm going to use the, what I call black. I'm trying to put this black at the bottom end of this cobalt line. Okay, so okay, now I'm going to use some cobalt blue, light touch. Okay. And now I'm just going to use water, because we already, yeah. Yeah. And if we see in the picture, so the shadow somewhat is here as well, and under. And the beak runs all the way till the eye. Okay. Okay, I'll get to this shortly. I'm going to use a different blue just so that it's easy to differentiate. Let's see. Okay, now I need the dark oh, I'm going to use a touch of ultramarine blue and maybe here, and the black, and then going to paint this bit, or maybe I'll just paint the under the beak. Yeah, it goes all the way till the eye, and till here. I'll keep this. Yeah, so that we know, we can see. So it's quite dark here, and then lines of dark here, and then dark here. Okay, let's dark till here. Okay, and then it's here as well. I'm not sure if you can see or if my hand is blocking. Ah, okay. All the way till here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use cobalt blue. It's kind of, this picture feels like it's got turquoise blue, but it's fine, I suppose. Not yet. As I said already, I'm not using the best of the paper quality, just something to demo. And also I'm specifically using an average quality paper because students, like beginners or people who just started learning, um, don't don't have the confidence to spend on expensive papers, and if I use expensive papers and my painting comes up really good, and they may feel like, oh, they are not very good um, at painting or drawing. So I don't want to create that kind of an impression. So if I use average paper, I will face the same challenges that they might face, and sort of I will know what I can advise on how to overcome those problems that they may hit. Okay, this is kind of a nice shape here, which I don't seem to have. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to do this. I will alternate between dark and light blue. And now I'll pick cobalt blue. It's dark here, dark here, dark here. And okay. Okay, I'll leave that like that. We can always come back to that after we do the other bits, so that we know how much. Okay, now if we see here, there is a little shade. It's a like a color reflected or some shadow, I'm not sure. There is that here, and then there is that here. For that I'm gonna use maybe cobalt blue again. And it goes okay. And as we come lower, we can just kind of add more pigment, and that's fine. it feels like there is some red in here. It's hard to make out, but I know that this the warm color red or orange, that this brown, yellow, that has reflected onto the white of the bird. So I'm going to use, I mean, this is just, you know, trial and error. You can do what you like. If you don't agree with the plan I have, yours may be different. So I'm going to use a little bit of orange, so very little, you know, and lots of water, and do this part. Okay, I'll be very quick to damp it down, or else it's going to. Okay. Yeah, that's. This is fine because this will be overwritten by the dark. So I'm gonna just add, you know, for the sake of symmetry, I've just added it there. It's not required, and I think it's also probably nicer because it's complementary. So whether the bird has it or not, if we add, it might just enhance the look a little bit. But always remember, depending on the paper you're using and the weather and temperature around you, it the minute you once you start adding color, parts of the paper will get dried out and leaving hard edges of the color. So that's something to bear in mind. I'm gonna do that here as well. That's too dark. Okay, I might lift some off of that. Okay. This is only supposed to be like a shadow, not have hard edges, sort of blurred look. So I'm doing that. It's always nice to have some tissue paper near you so that you can lift off or rub off some color. This was a black tissue paper that I kind of carried with me when I went to have dinner the other day. So don't be don't worry about it. You can use any tissue paper you like. Okay. Now we have so kind of dark here, dark under there, and a little bit here, and we can do that now. And there is, I think there's a little bit here as well. It's very light. So I'm going to come back to the back. If you notice in this whole painting, it's very limited palette painting, not too many colors. Okay. And one here, then one. That is that, and a bunch here, and then one long here. When I was trying to learn portrait drawing, portrait painting from another artist, I took some classes, and he was quite an established artist, and and he would do picture perfect portraiture. I was learning with him, and it was my beginning days. I'm still not very good with portraits, by the way, but it was my very early days, and I was trying, and it was coming bad every time, and I sort of was probably complaining or sad about it, and I was like, how you see, this is like a rhombus, very lean rhombus. It goes like that and then comes back, and this one goes like that and comes back. We'll see. So I'm not sure at this point in the recording how there was a lot of water in my brush that messed with the sharp line. No, I lost it. I think this might be a hard pressed paper. The very good thing about them is that you can lift off, and it's also not very rough. So you can lift off the paint more easily. Right. Okay. Well, one last attempt. Okay, it's quite hard to understand. This should be sharp, really sharp. Okay, that's fine. And I don't like that. Okay. Also, you might notice in this painting, well, in this video, that I noticed that I haven't I noticed that I haven't fixed my nail colors, and it's quite ugly. And yeah, this is my one of my first YouTube videos that I'm trying to create. So yeah, if you feel like, oh my god, she needs a nail polish remover very badly, yeah, it was, yeah, I saw it later into the painting that it's that and I didn't want to stop recording my video just because of that reason. Sort of, this is longer and this is shorter. Don't know why or what it is. Okay. And the thing is, these are very sharp, straight lines, and I'm kind of losing that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is the reason I'm doing this is I kind of laid a thick line, and then I'm sort of trying to lift off paint as though it was a mistake. It was not that. The reason I'm doing that is once I laid thick lines, and when I water down, this goes paler in a natural way while leaving this really dark, which is what I want. Except that it's not sharp enough. This one. Okay. Okay. They say that painting is very relaxing. Art is very relaxing when you do. I would say true and false. True because, like in this case, honestly, it has been very relaxing. I'm doing some mistakes, but I'm not like blocked by them. I'm also doing it slowly, easily, and let things flow. However, 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 it's also very demanding. Like, there is a pressure of making mistakes, especially with watercolor painting. There is not much you can do to fix things. You can little bit, but that's not a lot. Once a painting is ruined, it's kind of ruined. Okay, I think that's not good. I'm bringing. So, in that sense, the timing, let's say for example, when I did that, if I came back into the painting while it is wet and did something, it would just smudge and mess up, and I couldn't just do what I like in that scenario. So what I tried to do here was that there is a dark shadow of the bird itself, because the sun is that side. It's sort of creating shadow on itself. That's what I try to do here. But and also this whole thing is sort of shadow still. Although I use the orange, looks like it needs a lot more darkening. Yeah, like that. Okay. Okay. I think that it needs a bit of cobalt blue, because there is somewhat cobalt blue mixed here, but nothing on this side. So it's sort of looking purple on over here and cobalt on the top. So I'm just gonna it's supposed to be very smooth, shouldn't have hard edges, so we have to keep watering it down. Okay. And this is also kind of hard edge formed here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a little bit of mixing here. I know it's not very good. I have to be fast and I have to be careful to lose that as soon as I can, which I'm doing now. Okay. Just for the sake of it, you know. Okay. Okay. You might think, what are you doing? Don't ruin the painting. But I assure you, I'm not. It's just to create some interest, you know, interest and contrast. Okay. Okay. There is also some sort of that. Ooh, cool. Okay, it was fun. Okay. Now I'm going to add the line. So now we have some definition to the tail. I think I'll go back to cobalt blue to create some kind of. Okay. Now add more water. Okay. And the thing with adding cobalt and removing it like this is that it gives a nice nice whiteness. Well, it's not as white from the paper, but it's more like white because of the light reflected from the sky. Okay, this I'm trying to do to create contrast so that the tail itself is visible more prominently. If you see the background and the tail, it's sort of, they are similar color tone. So I'm going to I'm just using some form of dark green. It doesn't really matter as long as it's one of the forest colors, you know. And I might do that on the other side as well. Okay. And I want to change the color now to, let's say, cobalt blue. Okay. That's better. Okay, now I just want to. Okay, I can see that there is not a nice neckline there. I hope I can fix that. Okay, I'm happy with that. And just want to, I just want to break this a little bit so that such a big piece of paper. Okay. I'm going to come back to that. Don't worry, I haven't ruined it. Okay. Um, okay. Okay, now I'm going to do these branches. I'll fix that later. So the branches seem to have lighter, darker mix of. This is very light. That's very light. I don't have this. I think this is the lightest of all. So I'm going to use some raw burnt sienna. Oh, why not? Maybe raw sienna. And then I'll touch it with some burnt sienna after that. Okay. And now I'm going to add now some burnt sienna to the underside of this. It's hard. It's hard. Like they're not so strong. They're not so opposite colors tonally. but there is small transition in color that's forming. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a thicker, um, oh, not yet. I'm going to take burnt umber, burnt umber, and then I will try and make these and that. Let's see. This has to be quite thick, this in this case the burnt umber, and well, my bird is sitting very differently, but then whatever the shadow under the bird is lost. We don't have to do that in this case, but I can just kind of create a shadow impression like that. Okay, I did not realize this line is going to come very, don't know how this is sitting. Oh god. Okay. That was black. I was just trying to see if I can jump from raw sienna to black, but no, doesn't like it. So I'm doing raw sienna to burnt sienna to black. That's okay. Okay, this part doesn't look so great. So what I'm planning to do is sort of, you know, this is the beauty of watercolor. This is the part I love about watercolor. Okay, that's our major branch covered. Now I'm going to go a little bit loose and do the other branches. You see, I've taken a bigger brush and I'm a bit sloppy at the moment, and that's okay. Ooh. This is the reason you don't have to draw everything now, because I have drawn some things, I'm stuck with it. I have to sit with a finer brush and do it, you know, detailed, which I don't have patience for. So I'm like, if if there were no drawings, then I could make my random strokes like that. But now that I have drawings underneath, I just want to, anyway. Anyway. But remember, you're never bound by anything in life. Just do what seems right and just go with the flow. You know, as long as you're not I'm thinking, why don't I add some, because now that the painting looks very it's more moving to abstracty style and not so very realistic. I could just add some interest by tell you what, like that. Wow, I like that. This is the part that is very therapeutic about art. It's very satisfying. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop it there and come back to fixing some of the other things that I experimented. The thing I was trying to do here was I was trying to get rid of the hard edges, but that was a very wrong place to do that, I think. So why don't I put it back? Okay. Right, that's not too bad. I almost thought I lost it. Now if we see the eye very closely, it's similar to the beak. It's got a outline of cobalt blue and then the pupil is dark. I don't know if I can get a sparkle in the eye. If not, then I can't, that's all. Okay, so far so good. Oh, I lost it. Okay, never mind. I've got a trick for that, which I'll show in a bit. Okay. Right. Ha. I literally rescued myself from completely ruining this painting. It's still ruined a little bit, that's okay. I think I'm going to stop here, and and the easiest way, okay, the easiest way to stop a painting, um, they say you should know when to stop. Well, I don't know at this point. I just decided to stop, but the easiest way to do that is put a signature. That's it. Thank you for watching. I'll just try to zoom in to show. Oh, hang on. Maybe it's easier to show. Okay. You can have a look at the different strokes, bamboo, and the signature. Once this is dried, we shouldn't rip off the tapes at this stage. It's still wet. It may tear the paper and the painting eventually. Once it's completely dried, be careful to rip away the tape away from the painting, like away from the painting, not into the painting. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.